ride to my house, we call it a taxi. I'm picky with my women, I'm deciding. Call me to your crib and I'ma slide in. I'm picky with my women, I'm deciding. Call me to your crib and I'ma slide in.
What's going on, guys? Just wanted to hop on here and do another quick tutorial on the topic of Don Toliver's sweet, airy, and most luscious vocals. This song is called No Idea. It's one of my favorites by Don Toliver, and I did a little cover for it, and I just wanted to show you guys how I would process vocals like this. I know it's a very popular vocal style, so I figured it could be useful. I'll give you a taste of what it sounds like dry.
Uber ride to my house, we call it a taxi. I'm picky with my women, I'm deciding. Call me to your crib and I'ma slide in.
So, not very exciting as it is. I'll walk you through everything that I did from start to finish, starting with the EQ.
Uber ride to my house, we call
Just taking the body up a little bit, around 500 hertz, down to like 200 hertz, just to beef it up a bit. And then I'm brightening the highs slightly by about 3 dB, doing a little dip around 1K, and that's just adding a little bit of body, taking out a little bit of that mid, and then boosting some of the highs. I've got a brightness OGT preset.
Uber ride to my house, we call it a taxi. I'm picky with my women, I'm deciding. Call me to, I'm picky with.
And that is just gonna add some brightness. Got the amount down at 25% because these are pretty aggressive settings. So that's what I like to do. I like to make the settings very aggressive and then dial it back. And that kind of gives you a lot more control than what you might have otherwise. So next, moving on, is the de-esser. Just Ableton stock de-esser. It's not my favorite, but for the sake of giving this away, I wanted to make sure everything was Ableton stock. De-esser is just taking out those harsh sibilants.
I'm picky with my women, I'm deciding. I'm picky with my women, I'm deciding. Decide.
Just kind of tames that, like decide. Just be careful not to go too aggressive with it, because you can actually end up giving your singer a lisp if you're not careful. Next is this EQ, because I'm not sure if some of you guys heard, but there is some pretty harsh resonance going on in the upper mid range.
I'm picky with my women, I'm deciding.
And if you put into audition mode, you'll really be able to hear it. Especially when it's like deciding. So definitely want to take that out, because when you get to those high volume levels, especially when you get into mastering and you're upping the gain, that type of thing is really going to come out. And if you address it, kind of nip it in the bud early on, you're going to thank yourself big time later down the road. Next thing is another EQ. As you'll see, we've got yet another EQ. And this is just to point out that you can really never use too many EQs in Ableton. EQs are really not going to take up too much CPU, and they're only going to make the sound cleaner. The more subtractive EQ you do, the more of those harsh resonances and those unwanted frequencies you can take out of the sound. So I just recommend using, when in doubt, just more EQ until you can really carve out the sound that you are after. So
call me to your crib and I'ma slide. I'm picky with my women, I'm deciding. Call me to your crib and
next I'm throwing my reverb on here. 18%, long tail, favorite preset.
deciding.
Using this built-in filter here to cut out the lows. Got my timer on 5 seconds. And
Deciding.
delay.
Deciding. Call me to
Set
your
to
crib
a
and I'ma
half
slide.
note.
I'm picky with my women, I'm
Got the filter cutting out the highs.
deciding. Call me to your crib and I'ma slide. I'm picking.
And then a final EQ here on the end to just cut out any lows that may be created by the reverb and the delay. Sometimes those time-based plugins can introduce some low-end information that was not there previously, so definitely be sure to watch out for that.
Deciding. Call me to your crib and I'ma slide. I'm picking with my women, I'm deciding.
Maybe throw on a little more air on the end.
Deciding. Call me to your crib and I'ma slide in. I'm picking with my women, I'm deciding. Call me to your crib and I'ma slide in.
And that is pretty much it. I'll be giving away this rack, so you guys don't have to go through and recreate all of it. That being said, you know, the frequencies that are resonant are going to differ depending on the mic and the room that you record in. So those may need to be tweaked a bit, but everything else should be the same. It's all pretty straightforward. So yeah, that's that, and happy creating.